Hey everybody, Dr. Sandal here, breaking the boundaries of mainstream medicine. Today we're going to talk about something that definitely doesn't get enough attention. EMF. I know. People are already going, oh geez, we're talking about it. The thing with EMF is that we know that it definitely has an effect on human health. We are electromagnetic entities. That is a given fact. We have basically circuits. We have the flow of electricity along nerves. And wherever we have the flow of electricity, you have a concurrent magnetic field. So yeah, we are EMF interactive, let's say. We know that that's true. That's just physics. The big question mark comes when we say, okay, well, 5G or Wi-Fi signals or my cell phone signals, do those affect us? And there's definitely a lot of debate about this right now. There's not a lot of really great science, although there are actually many published studies showing the negative biological effect of these. There aren't what I would describe as thorough enough data to kind of compel the mainstream, if you will. But I would advise everybody listening to not rely on the mainstream for your information. You will learn things late. And when we're thinking about something like EMF and the potential for damaging human health, it's not really something you would like to know about 20 years later once it's been proven and everyone has trouble from it. So how much of a trouble is this and how much should you worry about it? Well, first of all, just understand that it definitely has an effect on human health. The electromagnetic fields and spectrum are very, very important to us. We know this, for instance, in our daily lives as affecting us with sunlight. The effect of electromagnetism on our system is definitely something that is not well understood. It has many more serious effects than we appreciate, positive and negative. It's a huge part of how we chain the flow of our hormones, the production of muscular tissue, brain tissue, functionality, all of these things. It's massive. It's really massive. So when someone asks you, does EMF and radio frequency affect human health? The answer is yes, unequivocally, yes, it does. But we don't exactly know everything about it. In that sort of scenario, my personal approach is to be cautious, right? It definitely does something. We don't know what. Let's be cautious with it. If you can do things that are reasonably simple that reduce your exposure to these things, you should. Things like having EMF shields on your phones, I think that's a good idea if you can afford them. Things like having your Wi-Fi off at night, that's probably a good idea. Whatever you can reasonably do to reduce your exposure to these things, you probably should. I have a good friend who is meticulous about never having a cell phone up to their ear. And in fact, if you look at the safety documentation for cell phones, they're actually quite particular about that because those companies are hedging their bets. They're saying, yeah, this is probably toxic and going to cause trouble, and we're not going to be liable. And so you're actually supposed to keep your phone away from your head, even according to the manufacturer's recommendations. That tells you something. So you could, for instance, keep your phone on speaker. You could have a headset that you plug in your phone and you keep it over here. Electromagnetic fields, generally speaking, will decay rapidly over a distance. The nearer to you they are, the bigger you're going to be impacted by that. Even going out a little bit, they start to really decay very rapidly. So whatever you can personally do to reduce your exposure to those, that's probably a good idea. If you guys are interested in more hard science on this, it is actually out there. It's just something that hasn't maybe hit the mainstream yet. It's still being replicated and combated and challenged and all those good scientific things, but it is compelling enough to make me cautious. Hope that helps. If you guys have other questions, let me know.